Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Moser, and I'm a Pro 7 out of Northwest Iowa, and I'm very honored to be able to share with you all tonight some really incredible information that was shared with me just about 9.5 years ago. And it's hard to believe that I have been part of this amazing journey in this company and this information that I've learned about just over 9 years ago. But my friend Sharon came into my office back in 2011 when I was working at a big medical clinic in Sioux Falls, South Dakota as a radiology mammography coordinator for a very busy mammography clinic. And she shared some information that really blew my mind. In fact, she shared the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. Now, if you have not seen that, I suggest that you go to biohackandactivate.com. And the person that invited you here to learn about this information and to hear this webinar tonight, they will be able to give you that information. But please watch it because it will open your eyes to what I'm going to share with you tonight. And our company is on the cusp of a big paradigm in nutrigenomics and amazing personal wellness. And when I heard about this information, it really just blew me away because I had just been introduced to the concept of personalized medicine at an oncology conference that I attended about 10 years ago. But proper disclosure, we want to make sure that we're not saying anything that isn't true, but what we're saying is that if you work this system that we're providing or work this business, that you will be able to attain proper results. So we're not going to promise you the moon, but we're not going to, say that, this is a quick get rich quick thing, but it's very, very regulated by the FTC. We are a publicly traded company. And if you have any questions, there's an annual earnings statement that you can go to on our Lifevantage website because we are regulated by the FTC. But what I'm going to be talking to you about tonight is called Flip the Switch. And you can feel better and do more. And because I had learned, like I said, about this brand new paradigm in personalized wellness and personalized health through this doctor a few years ago that had talked about our genome and how each one of us has our personalized genome and over 23,000 genes in the human genome, but each of us reacts and is affected in a different way with different medicines and different therapies. So because I attend these conferences every year for my continuing education points, that is why I was really intrigued when I learned about this new concept in personalized wellness. And that is why when I heard about Lifevantage and this concept of nutrigenomics, a way to activate our own genome and turn on good genes and turn down the bad genes and manipulate our genome for better health, I was so fascinated and wanted to learn more. And that was when a cardiologist shared this information with a NRF2 pathway. But basically what I was really excited about is because I've always been interested in the proactive approach to wellness. I was a fitness instructor years ago, and I have over 30 years in mammography and breast imaging and radiology as my background. So I'm always interested in better health. And when I learned about this information, I had just recently lost my father-in-law to a massive heart attack and my mother-in-law to a brain tumor. I had cancer in my family. And so I was really open to learning about ways to be proactive in my own health. And when you look at how we are attacked in our environment, we are being hijacked daily with food and water and our diet that we have in our Western diet. The environment, being around pollution and, UV sun rays. And I'm with my field of radiology and with ionizing radiation, and there's smog in the air. And, we have our personal relationship and poor sleep quality and alcohol and or being overworked and, smoking, and not to mention the pesticides. My husband's a farmer, and we are, when I'm out for a walk, sometimes, you get the crop dusters going over with the spray, and that there is no way to escape, especially with the EMFs and now the 5G that's out there and all those devices that we're holding. I mean, I have a little device on my cell phone that is taking the EMFs and collecting that ionizing, those EMFs, so that I can, protect my brain from those, EMF waves. But basically, we have so many environmental assaults that we cannot control. But there is a way to control what we have in our immune system and with our own biological cellular health. So we can't eliminate everything, but all this is dimming the lights in our internal cellular energy and our cellular DNA. And what does that feel like? Our decreased immune system, the brain fog, sluggishness, lack of our mood, lack of motivation, increased stress, fatigue. It's really happening inside of our bodies as oxidative stress, mitochondrial decline, and a decline in our sirtuin activity, and more. Why do you think we have age-related conditions happen as we age? It's that accumulation of this oxidative stress that accumulates over years and years and years that slowly dims those lights. Well, science has already discovered that our genes contain incredible abilities to keep our bodies healthy. And if you could leverage these genes to flip that switch, would you? Oxidative stress damages the integrity of our cells, and our body's natural defense produces antioxidant and maintains that health of our cell. Unfortunately, the body's production of antioxidants slows down over time. So if you take an apple, bite it, sit it on the counter, what happens? It gets brown. Well, that is that NRF2 pathway inside our cells that we can actually manipulate and reactivate, because as we age, that cellular production of NRF2, that pathway that gives us that antioxidant response, is slowly dimming as we age. But what we're really excited about, there is a way to turn that switch back on. What we have is Protandim NRF2 Synergizer that was developed over in 2003, so over a decade ago. And this is an exciting research that has been years in the making. And Dr. Joe McCord was actually a renowned scientist. He's the father of free radical biology. And if you look back in 1969, he did his thesis on superoxide dismutase in Duke University. And he actually had a goal of finding a way to help the body make more of its own SOD and those protective enzymes like glutathione and catalase. So what he wanted to do is take different types of herbal remedies that people have used for centuries, especially in Eastern medicine. But he wanted to take those herbals and concoct a recipe that would activate this NRF2 pathway and help us to make more of those protective enzymes. So what he did is took those 40 different herbals and he whittled it down to 5 amazing herbals that are in our NRF2 activator. And what he found is that it actually, after years of testing, that it lowered oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. So by doing so, it's like that apple isn't turning brown as fast. NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. And that is from the Washington State University that was just released in 2015. So what we're talking about is something in a paradigm in health that has a lot of scientists and medical professionals around the world very intrigued, because they know the power of flipping a switch inside of us. The old way of taking a bunch of supplements and antioxidants to try to have a one-to-one conversion of eliminating a free radical and then trying to, produce or, have our bodies fight those free radical damage one-on-one, it's just not as effective. What if we can turn on that cellular pharmacy inside of us? And that's exactly what we found a way to do. Lifevantage's approach is to make that antioxidant production, because we know that as we age, that production slows down. But what we found, if you look at the studies that have been done on Protandim NRF2 synergizer, that after taking Protandim NRF2 for 30 days, that there is a 40% reduction in oxidative stress. And what really intrigued me about what I heard in that video that I watched is PubMed is the most renowned research in the world is published on this free government website that your actual tax dollars are providing. And what they found was because of this ABC Primetime Investigative Report that was shared on Primetime TV, that caught the attention of all these researchers around the world, and they contacted Joe McCord and they said, we would like to study that product that you just formulated. And we tried to bring it to the marketplace online. We tried to, put it in the GNC stores, and we tried the retail model, but it just wasn't as effective. But what the good news was is that because the research was being done, because of those scientists that saw that ABC Primetime Investigative Report, they were studying the effects of NRF2 in oxidative stress with using their own dollars. So actually, Lifevantage only funded one study, and that was the T-bar study. That when you watch the ABC News report, you'll see that John Quinones, the ABC News reporter, did his blood test, took Protandim for 2 weeks, and his before and after T-bar blood test showed a reduction in his oxidative stress by 40%. Actually 45% in 2 weeks. So it was actually better than what the study says. But this is really incredible, because when I saw this research that was being done on PubMed, I knew that this was something that was not just another Me Too product. This was a really exciting breakthrough. And, just learning about all the different studies. You can go to PubMed yourself, and I was there today looking at oxidative stress and how many studies have been done, and it's well over 200,000 studies. And then NRF2, if you plug that in the search bar at in PubMed.gov, you will see NRF2, there's over 16,000 studies. So that is incredible to know that top universities have funded their own studies on NRF2 and what it means for our personal wellness. So we began to look at other switches, and mitochondrial health and their sirtuin activities are things that researchers are really watching for overall health. Mitochondrial decline reduces the power of our cells, just similar to a battery on a cell phone. Our body's natural defense is slowly being attacked, by all the different oxidative stress and different cellular damage. But our mitochondria is so important. As you've learned in 8th grade biology, you learned about the ATP production in the cell and how important that is to the human body. Unfortunately, the body's production of mitochondria does slow over time. And what we found is the NRF1 pathway is responsible for biogenesis, mitochondrial biogenesis, which is really, really very rare in the marketplace to find a natural mitochondrial biogenesis product. And back in 2017, we were able to bring a scientist in to formulate this special product that is a NRF1 activator. And it is incredible for cellular integrity and for mitochondrial production, and just giving that overall energy and vitality to the cells. Then there's also the third theory of aging, and that is the sirtuin decline. And NAD is a very important catalyst and molecule that actually is required for cellular health, or actually without NAD, the cell would actually die in 30 seconds. So it is an incredible, important enzyme and catalyst to help your proteins, the sirtuin proteins in your cell, to actually function better. Think of it as as a factory line, an assembly line in a factory, and how important that is for the cellular production and de-junking and getting rid of the detoxing our cells and getting rid of the gunk. And that is so important in our cellular function. So NAD pathway was basically found through calorie restriction. And there was so many scientists and doctors and anti-aging gurus that were noticing that by severely restricting our calories to 800 or less calories a day, we'd actually have this response of this NAD production, that it was actually connected to longevity. And people that are interested in longer lifespan, that is really exciting, because they were like, yeah, this really works, this calorie restriction. But what we found is we can actually do this with these different herbal remedies that we've concocted with this protein synergizer, NAD. And what we found is it's actually more effective. It increases sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. So these three products together have actually been found to actually amp up and ramp up the production of mitochondria, the decrease of of those free radical damage and oxidative stress, and with Protandim Nerve 2 actually boosting our production of those protective enzymes. And then with the NAD, it's almost like the CEO of the cell. It is almost like those, that production of the cell is just more efficient and has more energy. So we want that cellular integrity, but by taking the three of them together in this tri-synergizer, the perfect storm, and we're able to ramp up the production of, the overall effect, and it becomes actually more effective. And you'll look at the different graphs here with the NRF2, by taking the tri-synergizer together, it just makes it 800% more effective in the tri-synergizer. Or the Nerf 1, if you mix it in with the tri-synergizer, it becomes more effective, 118% more effective. Same with the NAD, over 200% more effective when taken as the tri-synergizer. So are you ready to flip the switch on your mood and your motivation and supporting your health and longevity and improving your mental focus? I can tell, and my husband, if you want the video, I can send it to you, but right when this came out a year ago, excuse me, getting a dry throat, my husband was totally blown away by how it helped him when he took all three together. The NAD was just night and day. It was like the sky was bluer, the grass was greener. He was just blown away. And then a lot of athletes have noticed too, they just have better muscle recovery, better performance, and it's supporting that mood and longevity. And another important study, if you go to PubMed, you can also see that Nerf 2, there actually has been a life extension and longevity that actually happened back in 2016. It was published, and that is, really blew me away, because they did a 10-year study giving Nerf 2 to mice, and they found that the mice that had the Nerf 2 actually lived 5% longer. Or I'm sorry, 7% longer, which is 5 years. So that is really incredible when you look at, we actually have a product that can extend life and supports our healthy vascular system and our healthy inflammation response and our mental focus. So that is the tri-synergizer. And then we also have an array of products that are all grounded in science. What I love about our company is that we aren't a Me Too product. We are really grounded in actual science, and we have a vitality stack that has an omega fish oil that is so incredible. Sorry, I have another dry spell in my throat, talking too much. So this omega has the fish oil, omega-7s, omega-3s, and it also has a vitamin D. And what I love about our fish oil is the integrity of it, because it actually, you can trace that the bottle, there's a little skew that you can trace it to the boat that where it was caught, the fresh fish. And I know with our Western diet, we do not get enough fish. At least I don't in our diet that we have. So it is so important for brain health and for cardiovascular health and for our immune response. So being on a good fish oil is that omega is so important. And that is part of our vitality stack, along with the Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and also our probiotic, which I absolutely love our probiotic, because we know the microbiome in the gut is actually linked to 80% of our immune system. And there is a gut-brain barrier, that axis that is so important. It's even linked to depression. It's linked to, just overall mental health and our immune response. And so having a good probiotic is key, but ours is different because it's the delivery system. It has a cellulose encasing, which is almost like a prebiotic casing, and it gets down to the lower gut, and it gives a 60% delivery system because of that BioTrack technology. So it is patented, and it just is an amazing product because probiotics are so key in overall immune response. They're also, what's different about our probiotic is it has Wellmune. And Wellmune, if you know, is, you can look it up on Google Scholar, but Wellmune is a patented product, and it's added to our probiotic. And so Wellmune is just a good way to help the respiratory response. And so especially during cold and flu season, you guys, being on our vitality stack is a game changer of protective, proactive approach to wellness. Okay, just take my word for it. And it also won the Bronze Stevia Award for best product over 2,800 entries a couple years ago. Got the recognition of the best product out there in the health and pharmaceutical category. Then I love our Axio. That is our brain fuel. It is a mood balance. It helps our circadian rhythm. It has Nerve 2 for the brain, but also calming the brain, but also boosting the energy. So it's hard to describe, but almost think of it as a healthy version of Ritalin for adults, but it's also for kids. But it tastes, there's a low caffeine and a regular caffeine version, but great flavors, and you can use it pre-workout or right after you have lunch. You kind of get that mid-afternoon slump. I have 2 or 3 of them a day. They're healthy, they're brain fuel, and just alertness, mental acuity. We call it our, just get stuff done drink if you want that energy and motivation. Then we also have our physique weight management system, and it's grounded in science because, again, it's about the prebiotic and the probiotic. And then we also have the whey protein shake that actually helps you feel full longer. As we age too, our muscles get atrophy, so it's a great protein for that. But also we have a fat burn that is patented, and it's for that really hard to lose visceral fat. And we know the muffin tops and the beer bellies we get when we get older, it's toxic fat that really we need to melt that away because it becomes, it starts producing cortisol. And that is something that's very toxic to our hormones, and it just messes up our immune system. And so getting our visceral fat, melted away with that fat burn is so key to overall weight management. And you guys, as we're aging, and we know that diabetes and heart disease and everything linked to being overweight, we even know that being overweight is is actually is one of the precursors, or that can put you at risk for that coronavirus and things like that out there. I mean, just having that diabetes is one of the things that they worry about, people being susceptible to different things like coronavirus and different age-related conditions. So what we're trying to say is use the arsenal of health and wellness, getting good sleep, getting enough rest, and getting your exercise, and using these activators to activate your immune response so that it's at 100%, so that we're ready, that we're like a warrior out there, ready for the fight, because we know that these assaults of aging and viruses and everything are out there, and we have to do everything in our power to take on our own body's capability to maximize our immune system and our response, right? And then we also have a True Science skincare line that just was, we used to have just one product of our skincare line. And like I said, I've been in this company 9 years, and these product lines have just turned into, just being the most amazing offering that we have with the True Science skincare line. But it's Nerve 2 for the skin, and we know that our skin's our largest organ. It gets the most free radical damage. And what we have with our skincare line is almost like a prebiotic or probiotic for the skin. It's going to balance that pH to 5.5, which is the perfect balance. And I've been using this stuff for years, and I'm 54, and I feel great. I feel like I have vitality in my skin. I went to the dermatologist a couple weeks ago, and she was like, your skin looks great. You're doing great. Because I had, before I started with Protandim and before I started this product line, I had some basal cell skin cancers because I loved, being in the sun. And so I really feel like being proactive with protecting our skin as best we can, just using these products to help that NRF2 production of the skin cells and just keeping our skin healthy. It is so important. So this is patented as well. And then our True Science hair care line just came out a couple years ago. Again, amazing how it's just helped my hair feel healthier. I mean, I have, hair that I've, probably over processed hair, but it has actually helped because we have a serum that gets into the scalp and just helps with regrowth and nurtures the skin and the scalp so that it's almost like a, that good environment for follicles in our hair to regrow or at least stay healthier. And so it's also the True Science, and then the True Science hair care system actually, again, won the silver, the second, two position in the Stevia Awards as far as overall best clean, healthy hair products. So if you go to the Think Dirty app, you can actually see that True Science skincare line and the True Science hair care line are very low in toxins, you guys. That is so key. If you look at everything that's absorbed through the scalp and through our skin, it is so important to have low toxins being absorbed into our bloodstream. And so that is really key to why I love our hair performance and our skin performance products. And then we also have Pet Tandem for dogs. That is that Nerf 2 for our little furry friends. And our dogs have taken this product for years. And not only is it NRF2 and lowering oxidative stress in the dogs, and we even use, the NRF2 human form for horses and other animals, but the Pet Tandem actually has the collagen and also an omega as well. So I could go on and on about our product line. And in fact, that's why I came to this company, because the products were different. They were science-based and they weren't like anything else you could go get at Target or Walmart, right? But stories are better when we share them. And to be honest, you guys, I started as a customer because I just wanted to try the products. I was a busy mom. I was an empty nester, or my daughter was in her last year of high school. My son was in college. My husband had a plumbing business. He was raising cattle and crops. We were farming. I was working full-time as a radiology mammography coordinator and at a busy clinic. I mean, I had zero time to do any business, but I knew that I loved these products and I wanted to help people. And so I hope if you have an open mind that you will realize that sometimes these things can just sell, they kind of sell themselves because people fall in love with what these products do. And what do we do when we love something? We share it. Just like a recipe, a book, a movie, that is what we do. We naturally want to help people. Well, Lifevantage is an 11-year-old company. It's headquartered in Utah. It's publicly traded on the NASDAQ, which really impressed me. Go to LFVN. Look at our financials. We're totally have nothing to hide because we are regulated by the FTC. We are a debt-free company with $25 million in the bank. We are a globally expanding company. We are governed by a board of amazing directors. The trend in wellness has never been greater. It's 35% up from years before, since 2010. So in 2019, it's even more exciting to be part of this growth and this expansion. But what do people want right now, you guys? They want to stay healthy, because what did we learn in the last 6 months? That we can't take our health for granted, that we can't take our jobs for granted, that we can't take our bank account for granted, because we know that things change. And in 2020, we were smacked in the face with the reality that we have to take control. We have a way to do that with a $600 billion market of all of these different products that we offer. You guys, we buy these products every day. If we're going to Target or Costco, what are we putting in our carts? We're putting in, energy drinks, or, coffee or pop, or, protein mix, and we're buying hair care and skin care, and we're buying these, multivitamins. Why not buy it from ourselves for $7 to $10 a day? You can actually use these products and buy them from yourself. And that is what's so exciting. We have these billion-dollar markets of product lines that are so unique that you can't get them anywhere else. And this wellness industry is growing and is on fire. But the perfect model of what we have with our company is that it's a work from anywhere. It's a virtual office that you can work from home. There's low cost to enter. Social sharing is what we do. Personal online store, you get a daily bonus. There's travel. And that's what I love. When I upgraded from a customer to a distributor, I knew that I was going to be able to help people. And I didn't really know how I was going to have the time. To be honest, I didn't know what I was doing in network marketing, but I knew one thing. I was passionate about wellness and health and wanted to help people, and that's all that mattered. And I was going to figure it out. So I jumped in and I bought a kit, and I started just telling people very casually, very part-time. But what happened was, after a few years of just sharing this from, 5 to 10 hours a week, it turned into taking over my full-time job, paying me more than my full-time job. And that's what I really had to take notice that, wow, this is for real. And this is our annual earnings disclosure that we published on our website, and is regulated by the FTC. And these are actual numbers that distributors are earning. And from a Pro 1 or distributor level all the way to the top of our company, these are real numbers, the average monthly income. And if you look at any of these average earnings, if $1,000 or $3,000 can make a difference in your life, we can show you a system of how to make that happen. And that's what I love about this company, is that you don't have to be a PhD or have a degree or anything. Anyone can do this, where it's a level playing field, that if you're coachable and want to learn and want to help and share with people, you can do this. And if you get in with a kit, that's great. Or you can get in as a customer like I did, and you get the wholesale price just like a distributor does. But there are 3 levels to get in, $350 to $650 to $1,250. And it just depends on how much product you want in your product kit. You get a free replicated website. You're open for business around the world, and you can share with anyone and everyone. And there's a system that we plug into, ITT. We use the leverage of our teams, and we have a support system that's incredible. And we can just help you grow and reach your goals and attain what you want out of this. But we are growing globally, and we are in a massive expansion mode right now. And we've brought on Aaron Brockovich to our board of directors in the last year and a half. Like I said, the Silver Stevie Award for Best New Products. We've gotten so many accolades. We're expanding into New Zealand and other markets. And we have been added to the Russell 3000. We're on the NASDAQ. And in January of this year, we rang the bell at the NASDAQ, the closing bell. And that was amazing to watch that, you guys. We were getting the attention around the world. Our stock was on fire and still is growing. And we have the Lifevantage, our Real Salt Lake soccer team that we're sponsoring right now. And that's also a lot of bringing a lot of attention to our company. We are in over 20 countries and growing, and we love to give back around the world. We are a mission-centered company, and I know that you probably have a million questions, but get back to the person that invited you on this webinar, because we'd love to get you more information. And if you want to become a customer, that's great too. Or if you want to join our team and help us give this message of cellular wellness around the world, and be on the first 150,000 members of a new a new company that's bringing this biotechnology to the world. That is where the sweet spot and the most amazing potential of earnings are, in our company has that. So get back to the person that invited you, and thank you for joining me tonight. I just appreciate you being on and sharing, this information with others. We'll have a blessed evening, and thank you for joining. Take care, guys. Good night.